Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back, and welcome to those of you who are new. My name is Crystal. I am a stay-at-home homeschool mama to one kiddo, and on my channel you will find things like cook with me's, clean with me's, homeschooling information. I also like to vlog and craft and all kinds of stuff. So there's an array of content that you will see and find on my channel. Now with that, I haven't been able to put up too much of homeschool content because I started my YouTube channel kind of like smack in the middle of our homeschool year, because we start in October and end in the middle of August. So we've got about 5 weeks left. It is downpouring rain and my dog is terrified of thunder. So if you hear her pacing around or the rain, I apologize. She likes to be at my feet when it is raining, so that's just something we gotta kind of work with here. I don't want her to be scared and alone, so we'll allow it. I did find it strange to put up a bunch of homeschool videos and like day in the lives of our homeschool day, which I do plan on doing quite a few of, and showing you how our day goes and so forth and so on. But I felt better that start when our next homeschool year starts, which isn't very far away from now. Just to kind of touch a little on our journey there, I do have a series of homeschool videos, sorry that I'm wiggling, coming up, and I have the hiccups. But they're coming. Today we are going to be talking about how to get started homeschooling. And over the next, I would say, couple of months, once a week, I will be putting up a video that goes with the theme. We're going to do, like today, like I said, how to get started homeschooling, what curriculum we use, a classroom tour for 2019 to 2020, just an array of things that we're going to be going over. I actually have a list here. A school supply haul, the classroom reveal and tour, how I'm planning my homeschool year. That might kind of come a little late for you guys, depending on when you start. We purposefully take our homeschool year, well, we started in October when we did Tot School, because that's just when I finally got everything together and that's when it worked. But I ended up loving it, because when we take our summer break in the end of August and then September, it's mostly September because the end of August we're still kind of wrapping up a little bit, but in September most kids have gone back to school. So we can still do things on the weekends with cousins and family members that we want to do, like summertime wise. But when we want to go somewhere, because like we live in Florida, obviously, like I said, we have Disney passes, zoo passes, and all this stuff, and we can do those. And September is still pretty hot in Florida, but it's not as hot as it is in July right now when most kids are out in summer break. Okay. So let's get started with the topic. The laws and rules that I'm going to be talking about will mainly kind of revolve around like Florida and what we can and will do here. I will say that I highly recommend going to hslda.org, signing up, and getting that membership. It is $11 a month, or you can pay $125 a year, I believe it is, if you auto draft it, or $130 if you just pay and renew it each year. You can also pay a lifetime membership of $1,200. Right now we're in the process of saving to, oh, she's like laying on my foot under the table. We're in the process of saving to buy a house, and hopefully that's going to be happening somewhat soon. So right now a $1,200 charge is not really something that I'm interested in putting out right now. Now granted, it would probably be worth it, because it is technically, this is going to be, we did tot school, we did about almost 2 years of preschool and then kindergarten. But we'll just say tot school, preschool, and kindergarten. So this is going to be my 4th year, which is super exciting because I've loved every step of it. Homeschooling is absolutely my passion. I love teaching her. I love literally every step, the planning, the research, all of it. Like, I absolutely love it. It is my passion. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind whatsoever that this is what I was put here to do. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This poor puppy, I feel so bad. If you see me lean down, that's why. I'm just trying to pet her and comfort her. But again, getting back to the HSLDA, I could literally ramble all day about homeschooling. So I do have notes. I'm a pen and paper girl. I made notes because I am very bad about getting chatty, especially about things like this that I absolutely love. So I made notes to keep myself on track. This might be a little hard and it might seem a little choppy to you guys because I'm gonna edit out some of the dog barking and whatnot, because there's gonna be a lot of it because it's storming pretty bad. It's been gloomy and rainy all day, and it's literally supposed to rain for like the next 8 days. So there's no way of getting around it, guys. So this is just what we've got to work with in the wonderful state of Florida with our summer showers. But like I said, getting back onto track with the topic of the HSLDA, I do highly, 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 highly recommend you getting a membership. Now, why I think that it is totally worth it. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory if you look at their website, but some people have never even heard of it. Totally fine. It's not something that you have to have. But like I said, this is something that I do highly recommend. Now, they have top-notch legal advice, a 24/7 hotline for legal advice that you could call about any time, because homeschooling is obviously legal here, but not everybody is as supportive. Not everybody approves of homeschool, and some people just try to be shady and not cool, and they will protect you. There's easy access to the legal forms that you will need: the letter of intent, the letter to withdraw, the letter to stop homeschooling and re-enroll, and the form for your yearly evaluation. It's all on their website. Those you actually don't even have to be a member to get access to, because they're super cool and they want things done the right way. They have education consultants to help you figure out what you should be doing, when you should be doing it. They have a lot of they specialize a lot in like special needs homeschooling, because they tend to be attacked a little more. There's a lot of tips for curriculum and testing and evaluating and stuff like that on their website. And then you also get like newsletters, and you can order cap and gowns, you can order a high school diploma through them, obviously when the time is appropriate. They have a lot of resources for planning and homeschooling and teaching. They have a lot of tips for record keeping, which is pretty important. There are a handful of states, and even if you go to their website, they'll have a map of the United States, and there's, I believe, like white, yellow, green, and red, or something like that. The easy states where they literally have no regulations whatsoever. And then there's some where they have a couple little things, like, yeah, you have to say I'm homeschooling, but you don't really have to show anything. And then there's the state of Florida, where we have rules where the next to the hardest, it says, but to me it still seems pretty easy, especially compared to, like, if you're comparing it to sending your kid to public school, where you've always got these forms to fill out every year to make sure that they're enrolled, make sure that you sign up for this lunch or do that, or whatever it may be, you have a lot to do. With homeschooling in the state of Florida, you literally have to send a letter of intent 30 days, sorry, a car drove by and it caught my attention, 30 days before you intend to start your first school year. You do not have to send it every year. You send it once. Let them know that you're homeschooling, and then there's also a form to send to let them know that you are no longer homeschooling, or if you move to a different county or a different state, you still have to send that form in just to let them know. Like, there's a spot in there you can let them know whether you're quitting, you're moving, like whatever it may be. So you send a letter of intent 30 days before your first school year. You keep a portfolio, which we'll talk about more later. You get a once a year evaluation, which we'll also talk about, but that's it. That's all you got to do. And make sure that you homeschool for 180 days, which isn't hard. I'm pretty sure we do that now. And this year, technically, we don't have to notify the state that she is going to be homeschooled, because how do they word it? 6 by February 1st. The year that she's going to be 6 on or before February 1st. So for us, technically, it would be the next school year, because she just turned 5 in May. But you can, once they're 5 years old, you can notify them and homeschool early. I am choosing to homeschool as far as I can. So my husband and I discussed it last night, and we are going to notify the state that we're doing it now, because now we plan on homeschooling the long haul, but you never know what's going to happen in life. I may have to go back to work one day. She may have to go to public school. Something may happen to us and her guardian may not want to homeschool her. Like, whatever the case may be, to cover our bases so she isn't punished because of life. If we were to wait until next year and then something were to happen to us, the public school system would put her back into kindergarten, like from the beginning, just start kindergarten, because she would be 5, maybe 6 years old, and that wouldn't be very fair to her, because we've already finished preschool, we're finishing up kindergarten now, and most of the stuff that she's doing now is past kindergarten level. So it's not very fair for her to be backtracked because of our public school system. So we're going to go ahead and notify the state and send in our letter of intent this year. That way our bases are covered. It becomes more of a habit for me to keep track of everything, which I already do anyways. I did that this year just to make sure that it was something that I was capable of doing. And this year has been the busiest year that we've had yet, with opening new businesses, new stores, taking on becoming the caregiver. Like, this has been the busiest homeschool year yet. And I've still, luckily, managed to take her on field trips, keep track of everything, and try to make it fun for her. So it was pretty reaffirming to me that we're capable of doing this. You can also, from the HSLDA website, once you become a member, you can get a teacher ID and a student ID for, I think it's $9.95 or $9.99 each through their website. That way, like Joann Fabrics, Michaels, Staples, all the places that offer teacher discounts and stuff like that, you get student discounts like movies and so forth and so on, stuff like that. So this is your notice of intent. You can see that very well. You literally put the date, and then the superintendent of, and then your county. I almost said mine. I'm trying to read it through the other side. This is to notify you that effective, and then the date, you will be homeschooling your child's name, their date of birth, their street address, and then you print and sign, or sign and print. That's it. That's all you do. and then you make a photocopy. You keep one. I plan on putting a copy in each year's portfolio just to be safe. Now you can take this in and hand it to the superintendent, school board, their assistant, whatever. You can hand it to them personally. But I personally have heard some stories, especially around where I live. The school board is not my favorite. We'll leave that alone. But they get lost. So I plan on filling it out, and then I'm going to take it to the post office and mail it to where I have to get a signature required for proof that it was delivered. And then I will keep my copy. That way it covers my hide there. Now, let's get into what is a homeschool portfolio. A homeschool portfolio is something that you keep samples of your work throughout the year to show progress. Now, check your state laws, because every state is different. But in ours, you could literally put 3 pieces of paper per subject. Say the first handwriting, the first paper that they do on the first day of school for handwriting, and then say the 100th day of school, have them fill out a page in your handwriting curriculum. And then the last day of school, have them fill out like their handwriting curriculum. Those 3 in there show that from the beginning, middle, and end, you worked. And then the person that's evaluating it can look and see if the page from the last day of school looked better than the page from the first day of school. As long as there is some progress, not perfect, but progress, that's it. That's it. There are more things that I plan on keeping in my personal portfolio. But again, let's go over, some of you might be watching just because you also are in Florida. In Florida, we do not have to hit certain grade level milestones. As long as there's progress being shown, we don't have to send in on our intent that we're doing first grade and then 100% complete first grade. Now, those are our intentions, and usually with homeschooling, if anything, you surpass that versus not finishing it. But nothing's gonna happen if you don't finish a curriculum, as long as there's progress being made. Then at the end of your year, after you have collected all of your samples, you just take that portfolio to your evaluator. Now in the state of Florida, they don't have to have a test, they just have an evaluation of their portfolio. But they look over the portfolio just to make sure that progress has been made, and then they sign it, and then they will fill out this paper. Very simple. Home education annual evaluation. The name, first name, last name, street address, date of birth, and then parent guardian. And then this is where the teacher would sign and say, on blah 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 date, I, the teacher, and it says, a Florida certified teacher evaluated the above named student in accordance with, and then the statute, and I find that he or she has demonstrated progress at a level commensurated with his or her, I'm reading this through the back, so sorry guys, with his or her ability, and is ready to continue instruction. Super easy. That's it. Now these 2 forms, when you first start, yearly, and then you keep a portfolio. And I think the portfolio is a great idea because, I mean, you can put more than 3 pieces of paper. I wouldn't suggest you like making it this thick for the poor teacher to look through, but you can put more than that. Things that I plan to keep in my portfolio is a table of contents to make it easier for them to look through. And I plan on organizing each subject with tab dividers. That way she can flip to it and know, okay, I see progress here, I can go to the next section instead of flipping through page for page for page. And attendance, just to put it there, we do have to complete 180 days per school year. It doesn't matter what days those are, how many you do in a row, just at the end of the school year, it has to be 180 days. No specific hours per day, just 180 days. I plan on keeping a copy of our calendar and planning, like I use, if you've seen my Happy Planner, and I do write down what we do in school in there, but I also plan, now that we have to keep a portfolio as of this year, I'm going to not make copies of that, but just go on Etsy or Pinterest or whatever and find like a homeschool planner and put those pages in there, just a printable calendar essentially, and just writing down not what I plan to do, but what is actually done that day. So during our school day, I'm gonna have it on my desk, and as we complete something, I'll write, I almost spilled the beans on what curriculum we're gonna use, but I'm gonna write down we use blah, blah, blah for math. We did pages this, this, and this, or whatever. And then that will be on there, and then the samples will be kept. And I do plan on keeping some of her books because I'm that mom. And I also want to keep a copy of our book log in there, like what books we read. That goes with our curriculum, extra supplements that we decide to do, nature journals or whatever. That's not something that I'm going to schedule, but that's something that's educational that we really will use quite often because we live in Florida, and it's, other than days when it's downpouring rain like this, it's gorgeous all year round to walk around and nature study. And also a field trip log. This year we took quite a few. I feel like we probably took more last year because our life wasn't as crazy busy, but we have still taken quite a few, and the school year's not completely over yet, and I have a few more planned. But next year, with our curriculum and everything that's going on, I do have a list of field trips that I want to take with her, and I have already picked out the pages that I'm going to print where for the field trips, where we went, what our main objective was, like why we went there, what her favorite part was. You can keep brochures to stick in there, take pictures, what we studied, all that good stuff while we were there. Field trip done. Easy peasy and fun. Like I said, I plan on keeping a copy of my letter of intent in there, a log of all work done, like what curriculum we use, what we did in that curriculum, with that curriculum, how much of it we did, how much we did each day, and stuff like that. Like I said, we don't have to keep track of hours, but for my personal reasons, I would like to keep track of how much we did each day and how long it took us to do it. That way when I'm planning the next year, if I know, well, this seemed like it took a long time, maybe I want to find something that takes a little less time. Or I felt like we breezed through this and she didn't learn, so I want to find something a little more extensive, like just for my own personal reasons as well. Like I said, I want to label all the subjects with tab dividers and all that good stuff. Now moving on to how to get an evaluation. Now this is pretty easy. This seemed like a pretty intimidating part to me when we first started talking about like really we've been really homeschooling, but making it legal, sending in the intent and stuff like that. But I sat down and did my fun thing of researching obsessively like I do with everything, and it is actually quite easy. I thought it had to be someone who was certified to do it like evaluate homeschoolers. It's not the case at all. All you have to do, if you have a friend that is a certified teacher, if your friend is teaching in a public or private school right now, they can evaluate your child's portfolio in the state of Florida, at least. And if you do not have a friend that is a teacher in a public or private school or a certified tutor, then all you have to do is contact the school board of your county. Again, I almost just let it slip what ours is. I know you all know I live in Central Florida, but I don't want to be that specific because there's still some creepos out there. I don't think I have enough followers right now to have any on here, but who knows where this may go. So I'm trying to be a little more careful and not as specific. But all you have to do is contact your school district. They will assign a teacher for you. You take them your portfolio and they go over it. But I do highly recommend, if it is a friend, make sure it is a friend that will be very truthful and professional and unbiased, because you don't want to move your child up to the next grade level if they're not ready by any means. Now, a lot of times when you buy your curriculum, they will have tests that check and see where they should place, what level they should be using or whatever. But you don't want to take your kid to an evaluation, especially if it's just a friend, and then just be like, oh yeah, they did a great job, and not even look at it. Does that sound great and easy? Sure, that sounds wonderful. But if your child's handwriting is like, and we're like, oh, it looks so much better because we're their parent, we're just happy that they're trying and we're proud of it because that's what parents do sometimes, it's not going to be beneficial for your child. So you want to find someone who is going to be very unbiased and truthful and just be like, you know, their handwriting really looks like it's improved a little, but they really should have improved a little bit more than what they did. Is it gonna suck at first to hear that? Sure. You have to accept whether they're doing better or worse. You have to accept it and move on from there, because that's the point. They will look through their portfolio, give you their feedback. They'll sign your portfolio. They will sign the annual evaluation paper, keep a copy, and then they will email it to the school district, and you're done until the next school year. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as my daughter would say. Now, I will say, you do have to keep your portfolio for 2 years after the school year ends, the school year that it was for ends, and then the state can come and evaluate it again at any point in time. They do have to give you a 15-day notice. So, I mean, if you don't keep it up, you have 15 days to scramble and put it together. But I highly recommend just doing it the proper way and then keeping it and putting it up for a couple years. And not only do you get to keep it for the state, but it's a memory that you get to keep for your child and look back on through the school year. Also, if your child is being homeschooled for truancy reasons, expulsion, or any type of behavioral reasons that they had to leave public school or private school, they are subject to be evaluated more frequently, up to monthly. That's just kind of part of it. I mean, it's kind of understandable, but frustrating at the same time, I understand. But that is pretty much it. Like I said, check that website. You don't have to be a member to look through their website and look at your state laws. You can look at the website and find out all of that information without any membership, without putting in an email address, without anything. But that pretty much concludes the how to get started, at least in the state of Florida. Like I said, every state is different. Every state has different requirements. Every state does different. Like, some require testing weekly, some require testing monthly, yearly. They're all different. They all have their reasons. Do I agree with all of them? No, but I do believe that hopefully they were put in place with the right intentions for our children. But once again, that pretty much concludes this. There will be a lot more of the homeschooling series to come. So make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Click the little bell next to it if you want to be notified, because if you click the subscribe button, you're only turning on some notifications. YouTube has admitted that if you just click the subscribe button, it's turning on some notifications. If the bell is not clicked, you will not be notified every time that I post a new video. Completely your option, not saying you have to, but if you want to be notified, make sure those are clicked. Give this video a big thumbs up if you found this to be helpful. Make sure you comment down below with any questions or comments or anything that you would like to add or say to this video. I love hearing what you guys have to say, and I love talking with you guys down in the comments. So make sure you put those there if you'd like, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.